Welcome to the Rec Room Podcast. This is episode 46.
46.
The name of this episode is called Traction, man. And we got some special guests in the building.
Absolutely.
That's good.
I'm your host. I go by E1. We got my man Millie's.
What's up, E1?
We got Trey Philando.
That's the rumor.
And we got my man Darius, man.
Let's get it, y'all. What's good? What's good?
Yeah,
What's good?
yeah.
So tonight is a special episode because this one is we're gonna focus on these guys a little younger than us. You know what I mean? So we're gonna focus on what it's like to be in your 20s, going into your 30s. Both of these guys and they actually 29 years old, getting ready to go on 30, and getting ready to turn 30, man. So this gonna be a dope episode about their transition, and then they're gonna ask us about. I ain't gonna say my age, but we a little past them a little bit. You
We
know what I'm
OGs
saying?
in the game.
We can keep
That's
that
all
under
you need to
wraps.
know.
Yeah. Keep that under wraps.
Google me.
Just know they seasoned. They got a lot of roles in
They got they experience.
Yeah,
That's it.
They
so
experience. They
we're
got
a little
pop.
past
They live
them,
life.
That's right.
But I always start with sports. And Millie, who's your sports team, bro?
So in basketball, like the Boston Celtics, and in football, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, and D.
You know, basketball, Miami Heat. I'm a winner.
Okay.
Football. If I'm a winner, you know I'm an Eagles fan. So, you know.
Okay,
Philly
now
is
I'm gonna be
trouble.
honest with y'all.
Philly is trouble.
So let me be honest. All the teams y'all picked are good teams, so it make me feel like y'all just became fans of these teams recently.
Like 2 years ago.
That's what it feels like.
That's not the case, man.
Hey,
My
like-
dad was
hey.
a fan, so it grew on me, man. You know, I studied the game, studied the players, and I just fell in love with the teams. That's
What made
it
you
was.
like the Steelers?
Yeah.
So back in the day, you know, in the 70s when they had Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, you know, Mean Joe
about the
Green,
70s,
you know, I used to
Steelers
always
born
hit
in
those players up and
2010.
watch highlights and stuff. So it grew on me, man.
We can't go
Just say you like the Cats when Big Ben doing
You like Big Ben.
Absolutely, John Stallworth.
nigga
you
said
know,
John
Glenn
Stallworth.
Swan, Mel Blunt, those type of cats, man, was a beast
True,
back in the day,
true,
man. That
true.
Turbo Tower was something to.
Why you like
something
the
to reckon with.
Celtics?
Larry Legend. That's my favorite player of all time.
Okay.
Larry Legend.
So you just like Larry Legend highlights and you just start liking the Celtics?
Nah, so
No MJ highlights? You ain't like no Magic Johnson highlights?
come on, MJ is the best player of all
Okay,
time.
there we go.
We
Okay,
understand
we
that
good,
already.
we good,
you know,
we
but
good.
Larry Bird,
Nah,
for
I'm
being a
not-
white boy, he was good, bro.
Nah. Larry.
Hey, you know what's funny though? They've been showing a lot of Larry Bird highlights lately,
Bruh.
and
He's a beast.
I mean, I knew he was good because you know I'm old enough to have had Larry versus Bird. I mean, it was Bird versus
Magic.
Magic and Bird.
They got Dr.
on the Genesis joint.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about the game when
yeah.
it first came out. But
Word, that's back in
I
the day.
seen a lot of stuff on TikTok about Larry Bird.
He's
and,
a
They
killer.
say he was a big trash talker.
Oh,
he's a
man,
beast
bro.
though.
He'll tell you to drop 15 on you in this position and do it.
And
Hey,
yours.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
So what made you start liking the Eagles? Was it Randall
bet.
Cunningham? That's one of my
Look, I
favorite
got receipts.
quarterbacks.
I got receipts. But so back when I was like in third grade,
Okay.
the very first game I watched on TV, the Eagles was playing.
Okay.
And they were playing Washington, and they beat them. Everybody around me wanted to be like Washington. I'm like, why would they beat them? I'm like, why would I like the team that lost? No, I'm an Eagles fan, and since that day, I've been an Eagles fan. Back in 03.
Right.
Yeah. 20 years strong.
It was 20 years strong.
20 years
I
strong.
got you.
And Miami, I'm a D Wade fan, so
Okay.
you know, I was watching him play, and you know, ever since then, I just been a Miami Heat fan. So
That
you know.
makes sense.
Straight out of my cat.
All right,
Yeah,
I
man.
hear that. So we're gonna get into what the topic is tonight, and it's about going from your 20s to your 30s, man. And I just want to ask Millie's first. Well, how would you describe your journey in your 20s to actually where you were being up to 29?
So, my journey in my 20s, man, just like everybody else's lives, it's a roller coaster, man. You know, go up and go down. You know, me starting off like, you know, breaking that 21 mark, be old enough to drink and smoke and things of that nature. Peer pressure's at an all-time high. You know, we make careless mistakes and decisions about what we do in life, and life will teach you. Life will teach you. As I got into my mid-20s, I started to learn that life is more precious. You can't just play around with it. I need to get out here, get a job, be successful, start a family, you know, potentially meet that great woman for my life. so I can move on and be prosperous. You know, so it's a journey, man. It's a journey.
Nah, that's what's up. So D, how would you describe your 20s? You know, your young 20s up till now.
So young 20s, it was pretty rough. I had my daughter when I was 19, so you know I entered manhood really quick.
Facts.
I had to grow up really fast. Constantly work. Be a father. Learn how to be a good father with no role model. So. Early 20s was kind of tough. Hitting my mid 20s, I kind of found my way and how to navigate. Kind of sought guidance through the older male figures that I was around at like work and whatnot. So, I had my fun in my 20s, but I always had my head on right. And I always was the leader in my group. So, now that I'm entering my late 20s and about to hit my 30s, man, I really have the right mindset of what I want to be and the kind of man I want to be in. So
that's what's up. So you know how I look at it. I think that there's a shift. To me, every 5 years, right? To me, from 15 to 20 was totally different.
Absolutely.
When I was 15 to 20 years old, from 20 years old to 25, from 25 to 30. I'm gonna leave it there. But and, on and on. I felt like. It's like a total different feeling and a different thing, and I'm thinking back to when I turned 30, and I'm trying to think about how my 20s was in comparison. And I would say for me, when I was in my 20s, I was chasing music, and I was focused on having, I worked and everything. I'm not going to tell one of the fake stories like all I was doing music. I mean, I worked and everything, always was goal oriented, but that was what I was doing in my 20s, chasing music. And I wasn't really thinking about, I always wanted to progress, always believed in progression, but I wasn't thinking about having a family and things like that when I was in my 20s. Trey, how were you?
So me at my 20s, man, I was just focused just on working. I was just focusing just on money. Then in my later 20s, I was introduced to sales. But I didn't have an actual steady focus. I was just my ambition kind of kicked in when I was introduced to sales. Think and Grow Rich. It's a great excerpt and one of the stories where it talks about when you're being introduced to your other self. I was introduced to my other self once I started to sell, and once I was introduced to investing. One of the first way I was introduced to investing / sales was through life insurance, right? So in my later 20s, I was sitting down at people's tables and things like that, as well as maintaining an actual job. So once I started to understand the power of compound interest and things like that, in my later 20s, my mind shifted, but I still wasn't thinking about marriage or anything like that. But I had a financial shift. Luckily at my late 20s, and it kind of helped me propel into my early 30s, and then I was able to. We'll talk about that later, but I would just say, just to answer the question quickly, just money, man, just the hustle, just the hustle. But I wanted to ask Darius real quick before I forgot. Having a child at that age, were you nervous or did it flip a switch in your mind that you had to do more faster?
Yeah, so it kind of gave me a jump start into manhood. Yep. So, of course, like I said, I had my fun, but also I was very aware of what I needed to be and how to really support and provide for my daughter at the time. So, it really just gave me a jump start. And it flipped the switch for me, and I was always in the right mindset in my early 20s. So
do you think it made you look at life different? Like, all right, so I'm thinking back when I'm 18, 19. I'm you working and stuff, but you still focused on having fun. You know, that's
sure.
when if you got a car, you giving your friends rides and shit everywhere. And
Me and every girl you can
you more around the neighborhood and all that type of stuff. Do you think was it an immediate thing where you felt more mature, or it took time? Even though
honestly, it was immediate. Like as soon as my daughter was born, I was like, I have to get on it because one part being of how my parents were. So, you know, I didn't want to continue that cycle. So, I just knew that I had to grow up. And it just, once my daughter was born, I was just on it from day one.
What was your life like coming up? Because you said not like your parents were. How was it growing up?
I mean, so
in your younger years,
growing up, you know, I really never had the support from my parents. They really just kind of let me do my own thing, and really never gave me really any guidance until it was beneficial for them. So, and then as I grew into my later teens, I was pretty much on my own after getting kicked out at 17. So, you know, just going through that, and having parents who just weren't really there the way I needed them to be, it just gave me a different mindset. So, even though it was a struggle, I kind of thank them for it because it made me who I am today. So.
Okay.
Then, Millie, you grew up. You from Uptown, DC, right?
Uptown Northwest.
Okay.
So describe Uptown for me, man.
Uptown, man, it's like your modern day city. You know, it's very quick and fast. There's traffic going on everywhere. It's a lot of hustlers, you know, a lot of drug dealing going on. But me as being a kid, I seen all that, and I always thought about my own movement, how I wanted to move. I never was a follower, never was a get with. I always looked at things as far as an opportunity on getting a lesson from it and taking it to my own consideration, you know. So me coming up, my house was kind of like different. So I had a good home. My family was married for 20 plus years. Had my dad all the way till I was 16 before he passed away. So I learned a lot from him, man. You know, we always had deep conversations that, you know, about any and everything about life and what I need to do once I leave high school. You know how the old people say, either you gonna go to work, you go to school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of the two. So, you know, I always had it in my brain that I gotta go out here and be something. So when he passed, man, it hit me hard when it first happened. But I just remember all of the talks we had, and I used it to my life, and it made me who I am to this day, you know. And he's living through me, you know. My mom's still around. She treats me good. I love her to death and everything. I have a little brother as well, so I've always been a family oriented person, you know.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. So when you guys think about, you all are 29 and get ready to turn 30, so I'm gonna ask Millie's, what is there anything that you're looking forward to when you turn 30? Like, what's your mindset now?
Like, my mindset now is to basically become the better version of me every day. I want to be able to strive beyond my thoughts, beyond my thinking, because I don't want to be stagnant or pull back. Because we did enough of that coming up as being young, trials and tribulations, trying to learn and experience. I'm at an age now where I fairly did most of the things that I wanted to do as a kid. So now when I'm being an adult, I want to be more responsible. I want to manage my money a lot better. I want to deal with, like, having a relationship with women more better. I want to be reckless and just try to, you know, date for one night. I want to really sit down and be a true father figure to my son or potential daughter that's going to be here in life that I have to look after, you know, and so on and so on.
So, did you write down actionable steps for your goal, or are you just living daily without that actual target, like kind of thinking that it's gonna work out just because your energy, or do you have like a 5-year plan or 3-year plan or something that you're trying to hit?
That's a great question, General. Yes. So when I went to an IT program years ago, they instilled in us, you know, set up a goal, you know, set up accomplishments you want to obtain and then conquer later on in life. And I remember making like a collage paper Where it was like 4 things I wanted to do,
like a vision board,
for 10 years to come into my life, and it was a dream house. It was a family. I like clothes. I like to get fly.
Okay. Like me.
And I'm a little general. I represent for the OGs and money, and all 4 of those things are starting to come to my fruition. And the job, of course, a good job.
Okay.
And everything started coming to fruition. So I'm just blessed. I stay prayed up. And I just keep my head level and tunnel vision.
Y'all sound focused, man.
Oh yeah,
we do, man. I mean, it's good. It's good to hear. 29 is. Of course, that's a great age to be focused. And y'all had some questions for me and Trey. So, what was that in reference to?
Let's see if y'all gonna freeze up.
Well, I'll pop it all. So, I wanted to ask, man, being so you all are the OGs of this time around, I wanted to ask you all, so what are some of the physical experiences you received coming out of your 20s into your 30s?
So
did you receive any different changes?
So this is what I'll say. It's funny, right? I feel like that I grew up super skinny all my life, right? And so I had to, and so right. So
I grew up super fat.
Right. By the way,
I
was super bulky my whole life.
I had the braids, and they called me Snoop and all that, and I ain't like none of that shit for real. I never wanted to be real skinny, right? So I had maybe like 3 stints of me going to the gym. So I had a stint when I was probably maybe like young 20s. And it didn't last. Okay. Then we moved forward, and probably about maybe like 25 or something like that. I had another short stint. Me and my man was working out, but something happened with him in his personal life, and we ended up stopping. That was the second stint. Then I had the third stint, and this was around close to when I was 30, maybe 29, 30. Okay. And I never stopped since then. Okay. And I was able to stay focused, right? So I started actually working out on a consistent basis when I got into being 30.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
Yep.
sure.
So now that's probably coincidental. I don't know.
Because you was thinking
funny,
like, man,
right?
I'm getting older, man. I gotta stay in shape.
It's funny, right?
I'm waking up different.
So it's this female I knew, and I hadn't talked to her in a long time, and I talked to her one day, and I was telling her, I was like, been working out, going to the gym. And she made a comment, and she was like, oh, you wait till you 30 to start working out. And that was some negative shit, right? And I'm just, and it brings my mind back, and I'm thinking like, it don't matter. It's better now than never.
It don't matter.
That was some hate shit. That's just something I remember. Y'all just triggered a memory for me. But I remember that. But to get back to the subject, physically, I actually started working out on not every single day, but on a consistent basis, and I'm 10 years plus in the game.
That's
with working out.
That's good. That's right.
So with me, I was always a big dude. You know what I'm saying? I was always a big dude throughout my younger life. So I probably started to once I really got active in sports, football, basketball, the weight will fluctuate, whatever. But I was always a confident, bigger guy, though, right?
Sure.
But that's a trap too, because just because you're comfortable doesn't mean that your health is good on the inside.
Right. Good point.
So playing basketball, high school, football, middle school, played some lacrosse, whatever. Weight was good, whatever. So got in the 20s, got to working, got to getting money, got to eating, the weight coming right back on, right? So throughout my 20s, bigger guy but confident. It wasn't a priority to me. When it started to really be a priority for me was when I was in my 30s and my closest relatives started passing away, right? So I was on IG. I saw this. I kept looking at this weight loss page, whatever. I'm like, man, I look way better than this nigga. I look way better than him. So and going forward, period. And anything that you're really trying to accomplish, what I learned in my late 30s, early 40s was how important a mentor was. How important a coach was.
Absolutely.
Once I got a coach, bro, and once I just got locked in, meal plan, and this is for anything. I'm just speaking as far as health. But you could do this with your career, anything that you're trying to do, man. Get a coach. Bro, I dropped like 90 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I ran almost every day for like a whole year. But what really inspired me was my loved ones passing away. My best friend passing away from COVID, right? So it really sparked my brain. But just like E was saying, it's never let anybody talk about when you supposed to be working out, whatever. You get people in their 60s and 70s, 80s. You got handicapped people in the gym. That shit is so inspiring.
I knew this. I knew a
You go-
70-year-old man. They used to do 200 sit-ups and push-ups every day.
Bruh,
That's cut up.
Bruh, but the more older people that you see, that's very common. You know what I'm saying? So just to answer that question, like physically in your 30s, from your 20s, yeah, you gotta stay up on your doctor visits. You know what I'm saying? Because and plus, you know, our people, a lot of us come from not really going to the doctor, right? So you have to value your health anyway. But of course, the older you get, you have to stay up on your checkups and exercise.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a question for us, D?
Yeah, I got one. So, I don't know about this question.
Lay it on him, bro.
Yeah. So, how did your financial mindset change entering your 30s, and how did it develop as you entered your mid to late 30s?
Wow.
All right, so for me, right, like I told y'all, I was the guy that was chasing music. That was my passion. That was my dream. I was the guy that if you asked me, did I plan on getting married? It was no time soon. I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was really focused on what I was trying to do. I say all that, and then guess what happened?
Boom.
I met my wife, and so I'm gonna get to the financial part. So I meet my wife, and she got a lot going on for herself. And because I'm chasing music, I'm goal oriented, but I'm not at this time. My credit is not the best. Man, I'm living on my own, and I got my own car, all that stuff. But I'm not focused on that like that.
Right.
I was living in an apartment, and I was getting to the point where it's like, okay, it's time. Maybe I need to try to get a condo, whatever. Like that. I was thinking like that. But when she came into my life, I felt like, damn, I gotta get my shit together. And I never told her this, but in my mind, I'm like, damn, she bringing a lot to the table. What am I bringing to the table? So saying that to say, I actually started getting my credit. I got on freecreditreport.com. At that time,
There you go.
I was looking, my jaw was like a 5. I was like, oh,
Keep that
shit,
joint.
right? So I did that, but I got it all together.
There you go.
I did something that I never thought that I would ever do in life, was move back home. But that was the best decision for me to do what I needed to do to stack my money.
Right.
I'm saying all that to say is, I'm not saying that meeting a female made me get my shit together, but it made me do it faster.
Right.
And when I say get my shit together, I was on my own. I just mean in terms of having my credit and actually doing the things that I really needed to focus on doing.
That's right.
I did those things. And so by me having a partner, by the time I got a partner, and we moved into my house like a couple of years after I was like 31, maybe like when I was like 33 or something like that.
Wow.
So by us combining finances, like-minded goals,
Right.
Yes,
it
sir.
all happened in that time. Now, if she hadn't came into my life at the time, I already had the goal-oriented mindset. I just don't know if it would have happened that quick.
Okay.
So,
Man, look.
Wow.
What about you, man?
Women will make your ass focus.
hell
Sure
yeah.
will.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So
Very.
shit. I crashed and burned though in my sales experience. Like my ego like I ain't really gonna say ego. I would more say confidence. I was sharing the house with my sister at that point. I had the basement, she had the upstairs. I was working a regular job. Plus, I was talking about financial literacy at colleges.
Oh wow!
Like I was talking to I forget about that sometimes. Like I spoke at like two colleges about how important investing was, but my income wasn't what I wanted it to be from my sales, right? And so that kind of crashed and burned. So financially, I wasn't where I wanted to be. So I was I was in a tough spot. That's the only time in my life where I would say that I think that I was depressed, and I never say that. I never claim.
And what age was this about?
That I was 30. I just turned 30 at that point. Just turned 30, bro. And so I was like, okay, cool. So how am I going to get out of this? I started working out more. I was up and down Southern Avenue, Savannah, all that. I'm running around, whatever. Then I was like, you know what I'm gonna do to try to you know get my groove back. I'm gonna go online. I'm gonna start going on dates, right? Right. I'm getting somewhere. So I'm gonna start going on dates, but I'm not just trying to, sexual whatever. I'm trying to meet some real cool females, whatever. Right. I went into it with a positive mindset. Man, I started going on dates, bro. Blackpeoplemeet.com back in 2008. Y'all owe me some money because I'm giving y'all a plug. Right. So I'm going on dates, man. Whatever, cool. Everything cool. Holidays come, right? I get a message, man, from a young lady, man. We start going out, whatever. I never saw this one particular girl out of all these thousands of girls. I was swiping right, right? I go on a date with this person one time, and I was like, I know that's the person.
Wow.
Right. So just like E said, once she started to talk, and once I understood what her level was,
right,
my brain shifted. That like on our second date, right? She owned her own spot. Made more than me, whatever. That wasn't the thing, but it made you want to aspire to, okay, cool. Right. How can I start to get on this person's level? Right. What happens a lot is with young ladies is they will settle for the man where he is, and he's not showing the ambition to try to level up, right? And vice versa. But me understanding, like, you know what, I want to keep that. Like, what do I have to do personally to get better financially, right? And so my brain shifted. You should shift. You should want to just level up. So you started to talk. We started to plan things. I wasn't a planner. She was like, listen, this is how my credit is. Just like E said. Same thing. My credit got better. Moved into her condo. We started splitting everything. Then guess what? Marriage, right? She wanted to get married. I wasn't ready for that yet. So young men out there, don't propose until you are ready to propose. That's a big mistake that some men do. I waited probably like another year before I was ready. I had to get my credit up. That was a promise that I made to me, right?
Sure.
So. Got the ring, got married. So what comes after that? We need a house, right? So everything went in its proper steps. So even now, today, I'm sitting here. Not to brag on y'all, you feel me? But my credit score is the highest that it's been because of those events that I was talking about earlier. Absolutely, right? But it took that person just to help you just if you focus a little bit this way, right, they could bring out the best in you.
So what's true about?
So you got to choose wisely.
Yeah. Okay. So what's true about when they say that when you see it that she's the one? Is it true?
It depends on the person that's looking, because you might not be qualified for her.
Wow.
You might not be qualified, so she might be the one for somebody else.
Whoa.
Well, I know what you're saying in terms of if you're talking about in terms of, I do believe that when guys are dating, you know if there's somebody that you could really fuck with like that,
like she gets so with,
you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say that when I met my wife, did I say that she's the one off the break.
Okay.
But to be honest, I'm saying that, but we got engaged in the first. No, but it's for another part. But look, go ahead. But here go the comeback. Right? I'm going to make it right. There you go, make it right. I'm about to make it right. All right. Me saying that, we got engaged with it after a year and got married the second year. So I tell you this, what I will tell you is that if I was in my 20s, that would have never happened. So that means that regardless if she was the one, because I just wouldn't have been ready. So I will say, by me being 30, or 31, at the time, I was in a mature state of mind where I knew what marriage
There
meant.
you go.
I knew what it would entail, and I
Okay.
was ready for it.
There you go.
At 25, I could have met the same person, and we wouldn't have got
You
married
wouldn't have
because I
been
would have been ready. You know what I
I
mean? So-
completely understand that. I always had that mindset ever since my early 20s. I always said that I wasn't going to get married until I'm in my 30s. I always just wanted to wait and
Yes,
really
bro.
be able to prepare
That's a
and know
beautiful slogan.
Yes,
when I'm
bro.
going to be ready.
Live by that, bro.
So that's just how I've been.
Bro,
That's a good
let me
point.
tell you, it was a young lady that I was that wanted to lock me down, bro. This is a really pivotal point in my life. Like a lot of my clothes were over this female's house, right? She taking me to work. She's doing everything that a person that is looking for a husband was doing, right? Young men. My mother told me, she was like, Trey, you love her? I was like, nah. Well, she's doing things for you that she should be doing for a husband. And the way that my mother was talking to me, like she probably used to go through that for a guy that wasn't giving her. So the story is that I was still on the side, you know, dating while my stuff was over this young lady's house. But once I went on that date with the lady that I'm married to now, I never slept back over there again.
Wow.
Right? I'm saying that to say that sometimes you could be in somebody else's way
Right.
and you don't even know it.
Right.
As soon as I stopped dealing with that young lady, the very next man that she met, she's been married to him to this day. since 10 years ago.
So it worked out for
Wow.
both.
It worked out for both.
That's
It worked
amazing.
out. So sometimes
Incredible.
you
It's
could
amazing.
in your mess, in your 20s, whatever you right. You could be in somebody else's way. Men with women and women with men as well. Sorry, I had to go on that tangent because
Nah, that- all that-
I'm telling you if you're not feeling that person, get out of their way because you could be blocking their blessing as
Right.
well.
Right.
Yeah, I used to tell my man that all the time with females that he would mess with, that he knew that he wasn't going to be with them for the long run. I'm like,
you're
look,
not gonna be with
don't
them.
Yeah, you know,
take her
yeah.
youth, bro.
Bruh,
You know what I'm saying?
know
Like,
you're not
right.
gonna be
Don't take her youth. You know what I'm saying?
This gonna end in a
Don't
month.
take her youth, man. If you're not gonna be with her like that, and
That's
she wants
right.
to be with you like that, go ahead and leave and do something
Come on,
else. But
bro.
don't take up her
Women
youth,
too.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Yeah,
When you
vice
know you
versa.
don't want to be with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
Nah, you
Who
good, bro.
next? Who next?
Good, bro.
What question next, man?
Just don't drag them. That's all.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
So my next question to you all is: okay, if you were able to go back to your 20th self, meaning
20th self
your
or 20s?
your 20s,
Okay, man, look, bro,
what
look,
advice
bro,
would
in
you
my
give yourself?
20s,
What
my
advice?
20th.
What advice would I give
Hilarious.
myself? To go back to my 20s, what would I say? What would I tell myself?
What would you say?
I don't.
If I had, like, if you had to.
If
Yeah.
I
If
had
you
to
had
go
to,
back,
that's right.
I would say I think that I
Oh,
probably would have told myself to save more money.
Okay.
I think it would have been. I would have gave myself better financial advice. I think I would have told myself that putting a little bit away ends up being a lot. You know what I mean? And so I think the main thing I would have focused on telling myself is about my finances. I feel like in my 20s, I was pretty focused. I was always, one thing about me, I always knew that I would be successful in life. What I feel is success, because everybody has a different
Right.
definition
They
of
do,
success.
right.
But
They
I
do.
always knew that I wouldn't be no bum dude. Like, regardless of whatever happened, I knew my determination,
Right.
Right.
my goals, how I am. I had super confidence in myself.
Absolutely.
That I knew that I would be
sure.
successful. But I would just have gave myself some financial advice if I could go back
Okay.
to my 20s.
Absolutely.
Listen, it's if you are money conscious, the earlier the better, because I don't really do like the regret thing, but if I had to, it would definitely be investing. We are all investors. It's just, what the hell are you investing your money in, right? But you have to be taught the right spending habits. That's where, in our community, where we kind of fall short. You can't really have too many excuses these days, because you can just grab your phone and learn how to invest, right? But it'll definitely be investing and saving, which will kind of spark me to really have an entrepreneurial mindset, because I felt like I had to like catch up to what I didn't know. But now I'm like, listen, I do own businesses. I still want more. I still want to attain more, but I'm patient with it. Right? I don't feel like, oh man, I got
Right.
I'm very, very patient with it. It says, what's the quote? Speed feeds the ego. Patience builds character. Right? And so I'm building what I'm building now, and I want to show my children what their investment portfolios are. Like I take much more pride in my kids knowing that they have investments other than them having flashy things, or you know what I'm saying. So but that's what my process is now.
That's right.
Totally agree. That's nice.
I agree.
So I got another question for y'all. Now, you know what most people say, in your 20s you can live life, have fun, make mistakes, learn from them. When you were in your 30s,
shit,
did the mistakes that you made have a bigger effect in your life than it did in your 20s?
Okay, so in my 30s, I got married at 31. So my life was fruitful. I mean, when I say fruitful, it's like it felt like I reached the stage. Everything was. Now I have ups and downs in any marriage and life and stuff like that.
Sure.
But for me, by me being married, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't make any big mistakes because of being married to the right person, or what I say. And so we just built together more than anything, and we're continuing to do that. So I didn't do anything crazy in my 30s where I'm paying for it. I actually been excelling in
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
there
right.
you go. So with me, I'm a risk taker. Luckily, you can't be a risk taker and like spend your family's money and shit. Like you gotta like that shit gotta be calculated, right? And so what I mean. I really started just to get into that entrepreneurial bag, man, and just pushing myself. Having a full-time job, but still doing things that interest me. Right? And just because you own business, that doesn't mean that you rich. It means that you're starting something, you're understanding how to build something from the ground up. So as far as I still take chances, but until I'm not here anymore, I'm always going to be in that mindset, just being a go-getter, to build, to own. So don't ever look at it as you making a mistake. If you have the right intention, if you have a plan, what do I want to get out of this idea? If it doesn't work out the way you want it, hey, you know what? That's life. That's a lesson learned, right? Yep. So you can stay in that process, or like, okay, cool, this will work. Timing has a lot to do with your ideas as well, right? So that's why I was talking to Millie, like the best thing that if I would have been sat down and listen, when you plan things and when you have deadlines on your on your ideas and on your thoughts, that's going to help to propel you to it, right? And choose wisely who you might want to do business with. Every friend shouldn't be a business partner. Sometimes your friends should be goddamn friends.
I agree.
Right? And business partners should be solid people. Right. So if you want to go into ventures with people, just And
I also
make sure
learned
that they're solid.
Absolutely.
I learned that on the older I was getting, that if my mother would always tell me, just do it. Right?
Perfect.
And any idea or anything that you had that you want to do, plan it out and do everything you need to do, but actually just do it. Sometimes we think so much, and you think every day I'm gonna do this,
and then you don't do it.
That's a great point.
And you don't do none of this shit. You have to just do this shit.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? And the chips gonna fall where they may. You learn as you go.
Yes, sir.
Most things aren't overnight, but you have to just start doing it. If you're
Absolutely.
thinking about it in your brain, start to try to do it. Do the steps to, do it instead of thinking about it. And we all do that, fall victim to that. Some of it's human nature, but you can focus your mind on just doing it, man. Don't think about the gym. Just get your ass up and go. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. Absolutely.
Right.
That's true.
Absolutely. And let me tell you what really pushed me was the books that I was reading. The books that I started to read led me to another book.
Can you name a couple for the people?
Hell yeah. So when I first started, one of my biggest mindset books was Tuesdays with Maury. That was like the first one that really got my brain sparked on appreciating life, right? Just appreciating the days that you have. The second one that really got me was Think and Grow Rich. Being introduced to your other self, 3 Feet from Gold. Then once I started to excel with my sales, things like that, then I got into Ryan Holiday, Ego is the Enemy, The Obstacle is the Way. That damn crazy ass Grant Cardone, 10X. Let me tell you something. The Millionaire Booklet. Let me tell you something. Listening to him talk, I got so fucking fired up. I wanted to get into real estate. I'm like, how can I do this? Let me tell y'all something. I found out a way to get some goddamn money. That was legal. Right? Went through a bank. Right? Went through a bank, but it was my brain. I was so amped to get this done. I got a loan. I went to Baltimore. I got a property. I put people in that goddamn property. It was in the goddamn war zone. I didn't give a shit. I was so locked in. I had a property in the neighborhood that was so bad. I wouldn't take none of y'all with me. I would go myself. Right? That's how bad it was. But I was just so locked in. The people on the block, they were cool. They respected me. This my shit, bro. I got carpenters in there. I got a rug put down, bro. I got new stairs. I got a tenant in there. Wound up flipping that property, making $25,000 off of that property.
Wow.
But I didn't plan this shit out. I just did it.
Right.
What I was talking about with the goals was, if you become goal oriented as a younger person, it's going to be innate. You're going to get used to it. Some people
natural,
right? So if I was more structured then, but I'm not a structured person. I'm just a doer. I'm like this, right? So just one book sparked my brain to go get me a damn property and understand how to do it without reading a ton of books. Even though I was reading a shitload of books, the doing process you're gonna learn on the go.
Yep.
And that's gonna introduce you to much more people that are on that level with you. So I kind of went around.
You good.
So there's this article from from it's called marketmanson.net, and it says 10 life lessons to excel in your 30s. And some of this is some of the stuff that we kind of went over. And so the first one says start saving for retirement now, not later. That's definitely one to do. The next one, number 2, is start taking care of your health now, not later. That's something that we spoke on.
Big factor.
Number 3 is don't spend time with people who don't treat you well. Now, I'm gonna stop on number 3.
That was big
because we did a part previously on something like this. That's basically saying make sure you're around like-minded people, man. Make sure that you're around people that's doing something positive, that's either doing what you're doing or doing better than what you're doing.
There you go.
That makes a big difference on your life, how you feel and how you grow. Right?
It do, man.
Number 4 is be good to the people you care about. I think that's a given.
That's a given.
If you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing, man. Number 5 is you can't have everything. Focus on doing well on a few things. Focus on doing well at doing a few things really well.
Yeah.
I believe in that too, because you can be a jack of all trades, master of none. So I think go from 3 things to the next. However you do it, but I understand what they're saying. Don't put your stuff everywhere because you can't focus on.
Right. Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
That statement right there. that's something I really had to like learn to deal with and like learn how to cope with in my 20s because I wanted to do everything, and I was putting so much on my plate. And when I turned back and looked back at my plate, it was nothing. I gave up on everything.
Same here.
I put too much weight on my shoulders, and I just had to learn to handle two things at a time, or one thing at a time, one
That's
step
the
at a
key.
time.
Right.
And
I'm
it
still
really,
learning that.
and it really helped me, get better and learn how to accomplish things and finish things because I had a big problem with finishing.
Okay.
I would start something and not finish it. So now I've learned to take it one step at a time, do one thing and finish, and then move on to the next thing and finish. So
Yep, I agree.
Also, more so now than ever, it's so many opportunities, but it's too many fucking distractions.
Yeah.
It's so many distractions today where you have to lock in, have an accountability partner, whatever that is, but somebody to keep you, unless you are like that yourself, which is tough, but just doing one thing at a freaking time and accomplishing that, and then going to the next thing.
Yep.
Now, number 6, something that we also spoke on. What's dope about this is, Trey, we kind of spoke on these things without reading this article.
That's
and
good,
so
bro.
I think
That's
I think that's what's up.
That's good.
So number 6 is don't be afraid of taking risks. You can still change. That's a good one. In order to achieve, sometimes you do have to take risks.
Yeah.
The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. You don't want to be stupid.
Reward.
You don't want to be ridiculous.
Because I don't promote it, but it also go hand in hand with like you gambling. You want to get the big bucks, but you got to bet big to win big, right? So a lot of times you got things coming your way, and you thinking like, "Oh, I'm discouraged. I don't know if I can do it." Instead of having that confidence and that willpower to say, "I'm gonna risk it all, man." And when I get this benefit, it's going to be plentiful and abundance of what I needed for my life. So it's always that gist of just going out there and tackling your obstacles, and having faith with it.
But we have to understand that we shouldn't have we have a scarcity mindset, right? Where it's where it's all of it or it's nothing. That's funny as hell. That's what I want to name the pod in the beginning. But that's a scarcity mentality with us because of where we come from, our neighborhoods, our environment. I'm telling you, when you plan, when you're patient, but you have to have that goal. In mind, it's a book called it's called Psycho-Cybernetics, right? It's by this doctor Maxwell Maltz, where he talks about how when they make rockets, the rocket is programmed to hit that target. The target could be in Russia. And that rocket, it's gonna move all kind of ways. It's gonna go through all types of weather, but it's still gonna hit that fucking target, right? That is programmed to be. I listened to that audio book like 2 days in a row. It's like a 6-hour audio book. It is so relaxing just to hear somebody just walk you through step by step the power of just planning. But you have to understand that shit is going to happen on the way to that goal. Our thing is we have to understand like, hey, this is a part of the process, right? And not get discouraged because the first book didn't get published on time or whatever your goal is. The key is you have to have something concrete that whatever happens, I'm gonna get that certification. I'm gonna get that problem.
That's right.
I'm gonna get this position here, right? But just the patience of it, and not getting discouraged too soon and then stopping and then starting something else without finishing this goal first.
So number 7 is you must continue to grow and develop yourself, and a part of that is what Trey been talking about. That can come from reading books. If you're religious, that can come from reading the Bible.
Absolutely.
Going to church. Whatever you feel, helps you. Right?
Or therapy.
Therapy too.
Yeah.
Number 8 is nobody still knows what they're doing. Get used to it. And
There
so
you
what
go.
I think they mean by that is try stuff.
That's a good
Everybody don't have the answers. You
That's
may
a
not
good
have the answers.
There you go.
But you only gonna learn unless you do it. You know what I mean?
You have to
All
do
that
it.
thinking about this shit ain't gonna do
You
nothing.
have-
You know what I mean?
You-
Like,
and,
a
talk
lot
to
of
somebody,
wishing.
and talk to somebody who did it.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Like not your homie. Nah, your homie ain't do what you trying to do.
right. Number 9 is invest in your family. It's worth it.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
For sure.
To me, that should be a given. But and then the last one they have is be kind to yourself, respect yourself. I think that should be
That's
a
the
given.
baseline.
You definitely have to respect yourself,
You
love
gotta
yourself,
respect
all that
yourself.
stuff.
That's the baseline.
That's
I
number
think you
10.
can't love nobody else unless you love yourself
First.
No, that's real
First.
talk. I always say that. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? And when you love yourself, you don't tolerate certain stuff.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
But then it
Like,
becomes more genuine because you're already confident in yourself to block off any negativity.
hell yeah.
True, and that's gonna come. So, Mr. Darius, so
What's that?
this item that we have here,
Novel.
Tell us about you becoming that person that produced a fantastic novel that came out a couple months ago.
Well, let's
Go
tell
ahead.
us what's the name of
What's
the
the
book?
name of the book
The name
first?
of the book is called Insensitive.
Okay.
Insensitive.
And I spell it INSINSITIVE. And I spell it with SIN instead of the correct way of SEN because in the book, it is a lot of sin. It's a lot of greed and adultery and lies. And I just wanted to just have a captivating title that's different.
It is different.
And as well as the photograph on the front, when you look at my book, I want you to want to pick it up. So that's just how that came about.
So first and foremost,
On Amazon now, go get it.
so Darius is an author, and I gotta break it down because to write a book, I just think that's dope, man. And
appreciate it.
my question is,
Proud of you, man.
have you been writing your whole life, or what?
No, I have not. Actually, it's really weird because growing up in school, I never liked to read or write.
Shit.
It wasn't until I started working at the job that
So
I'm
let
at
me
now.
ask you this before I'm gonna get back
Go
to
ahead, you
it.
go.
Was you one of the guys that when they say Darius, read paragraph 3, could you read it, or was you like stuttering through it?
I was stuttering
me.
through.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I was like,
He was trying to put that in.
Like, don't go.
Hey, no,
You gotta
that's what I'm
go
thinking
like this, bro.
I used to love that part of school. They'd be like,
man, I used to hate when the teacher called me to read something.
You know, the kids be sneaking out of their breath, be laughing.
Bruh.
I'm stuttering, skipping sentences. I'm like, oh, he can't read.
so my bad. So how'd you get to?
So it wasn't until I started working at the job I'm at now that one of my co-workers / friends gave me a book to read because I was just bored at work and I needed something to do. And I read that book in one day, and it was the first book that I had
Crazy.
ever read fully through and through in
That's
my whole life.
crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And after that, it just became like an addiction. I needed to read, so I was reading a book a day.
Okay.
And thanks to like a lot of good friends that I made at work, they were helping me, by giving me different books. And then it just got into I'm reading so much, I know I can be able to write. So then
That's
I just
crazy,
started, writing, and then as I was reading books, I started to reread some of the same books I read to study, to become more formal of how to write, and that's just how that came about.
So
That's dope, bro.
Is your book? Is it a nonfiction or fiction?
It's fiction. It's urban fiction. That's the genre I'm into. That's mainly what I read. May always make fun of me when he see me reading.
Yo,
my Zane books.
Bro, I be reading like a hood love novels. And, you know what I mean?
But, mainly it's just that even though I do enjoy it, it's studying because
That's true.
the genre I like to write, and I need to be able to like get in their mind.
That's true.
To
That's
see how
dope.
they captivated me, so I can be able to captivate other people.
Great strategy.
So you know,
Great strategy.
So with writing this book, do you feel like you'll write another book? Was this a one time thing, or how do you?
So with this book, it was supposed to be a one-time thing, but after I released it and all like the positive feedback I got,
It's crazy.
you know, people are looking for a part 2, and the way I ended the book, I ended it on a cliffhanger for
That's dope.
potential for
Leave
a part
it
2. So,
open-ended. Yeah.
so you know, a part 2 is coming out. I already have an outline for it and everything.
So Darius just gave an example of just do it. As I spoke earlier,
Bang.
he just told you all that. He didn't have no experience in writing a book. He didn't even probably wasn't even thinking about that. He didn't even like to read and write and all that stuff. Wasn't his favorite thing. But once he got that bug and it sparked him, he didn't sit and think about it.
Nope.
He did it.
Yep.
And that's just an example of doing that. Now, where can people get the book?
It is on Amazon right now. Just type in Insensitive, or you can type in my name, Darius Winfield, and it will pop right up. The book is $15. I will be doing a Christmas sale, half off. So
Bang.
look for that.
Go get it now.
Yeah.
Go get
I
that.
wanted to say, man,
Great book. Get
I'm
in
proud
there.
of both of y'all, man, because
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
y'all
brother.
really mature,
Absolutely,
man,
man.
And y'all inspire me, and I hope we
Absolutely.
inspire you guys. You know what I mean?
For sure, brother.
E, can I tell you something?
Yes, sir.
Ever since Mayfield told me about y'all podcast, man, I tune in and listen every Thursday faithfully.
No question.
Like, and y'all really give me a different aspect in life through your lives and what you say every week and the different topics, man. And y'all just definitely help me on a weekly basis
That's dope.
based
Appreciate
on everything
that.
you all
Thank
talk
you,
about.
bro.
So I just want to thank y'all for that.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
That Starbucks car.
Hey, Darius tried with the Starbucks though. So we got to stay where the faithful listeners gonna get a little gift. And he just let me know he wanted a faithful listeners.
That $25 joint.
I'm on it.
Some competition. He might get that Starbucks
Nah,
card.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
for
sure.
sure. Thank you, bro.
Real,
Thank you,
real,
bro.
man.
No
So,
question.
man, I truly appreciate that. And Trey, do we got an extra rec room on that today?
So we actually for this special show we actually have a challenge. Like the challenge is for you to let us know when your next book is going to be coming out.
Okay.
And for this gentleman, just having that 3 to 5 year plan written. Like
Sure.
it's more of like a challenge.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like once you can see a target, you understand exactly
I've done
what you're
that.
shooting for, bro.
I
So
do
that's
that. I do that.
I just want to chime in. So,
Of course.
you know, the youngsters that's listening,
Talk to him.
you know, these good gentlemen here, man, are great examples of a great father, a great husband, you know, in this thing
Facts,
called
facts.
life, man. You know, we need to look up to these people because they the ones that's continuing to hold that mantle and being a pioneer of what a strong black man's supposed to be. And we gotta learn from somebody. And these two brothers you could take a look at, man. You know, these are prime examples of what we need to be in the future and now. You know,
Yeah.
so
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate that, bro.
Appreciate y'all, man. Did y'all rehearse that outside, bro?
Hey, man, I told you.
Nice, bro.
You bring me and Mill together, it's
Bruh,
over with, bro.
joint,
It's
baby.
unstoppable,
It's
bro.
They
It's
trying to get back
unstoppable.
on TV. They trying to come back.
we said it's a part 2 coming soon.
Part two.
Y'all be back.
You know,
Y'all
T Streets holler at me.
Yeah,
Donnie,
man.
holler at me.
Holla at me.
T-Street,
Yes, definitely.
So as always, man, like I always say, this comes to the conclusion of the pod.
Absolutely.
We on a podbean every Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you don't have the app, download the app. We also are on in any way that you can stream the pods. You can catch the pod, Spotify, etc. We also have a YouTube page called The Rec Room. Same thing with Instagram. Everything is The Rec Room Pod. Look us up and check us out. Like tell a friend to tell a friend. I always say that, and I always end it with everybody has a pod, but everybody isn't
Everybody
us.
ain't us, baby.
And we'll catch y'all the next time. Thank you all for being on.
No problem, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Out.
Thank y'all.